It's Matt Sinner right here on your Classic Metal Show with Coming Out Fighting. And somebody who knows a little bit about coming out and fighting is our good friend, The V from Benedictum.
I'm ready to whoop your ass right now.
I know you are. That's why you're across the studio away from me.
That's why
we have to have all that language, Veronica. I mean, come on.
Yeah, blame me.
Yeah, it's very, very hurtful.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean
we're
to.
We're a couple of pretty sensitive guys
I know
here.
You are the most sensitive individuals that I know.
And you come in here with your hard-heartedness.
Looking at
and
you
you're
all crooked.
Cold and just hateful
Vicious.
And mean. And
I don't need that metal attitude here.
Not on the Classic Metal Show.
No.
I mean, that's just really inappropriate, don't you think?
It is.
You know what? I stand corrected, and I apologize, and I will stand down and
you have to
I'll back
understand,
off.
Veronica. This show is mostly about my tragic tales of dating anymore, which
is pretty zero. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Just a thought.
It is definitely
That's
pretty
a short
poor.
story if there ever was one. I'm sorry. Oh, again, impulse control. Sorry.
That's all good. You can't hurt my feelings
You
any worse
can't
than
hurt what you don't
all
have.
the
You know what I'm
ladies
saying? I'm
do.
sorry.
Wow, look at Nathan from Kentucky. We got to rename this show. It's not the CMS. It's two douchebags and a hot chick.
I agree.
We're there.
Sounds like a good title to me.
That's
That works for me.
That's uncharacteristic of Nathan.
Of course it works for you.
Nathan, I
You're
love
the
you.
hot chick.
It's very uncharacteristic of Nathan since he's been such a fan for so long.
Well, he realizes the old days are over.
I guess. Two douchebags
We're
and a
evolving.
hot chick.
How about two dicks in a hole?
Maybe. But you wouldn't be that lucky.
I don't know that
You'd
I'd
be the
want to
hole.
be that lucky, to be quite honest.
Are you the hole?
No, that is reserved for chickage.
That's what you think. Times they are a changing. You know what I'm saying?
No, they're not. No, they're not.
I think
Let me
they are
just
for
say-
you, son. Any takers?
say, my penis is only looking for a chickage hole.
Well, that's not much to talk about. Anyway, Phil.
Not looking for any kind of fucking faggotry here tonight.
Oh, God. Can we move on?
Why? You brought it up.
No, I did not. You brought that up on your own.
You challenged me.
Yeah, whatever. Neely, fix it.
Wow, Metal Demon Chris the hole.
Thank you, Metal Demon. We're on the same page.
Wow.
Moving on. Time is a new paradigm.
You know, I've spent 18 years of my life building this show, and it's taken over just in a matter of hours.
That's how it goes.
Well,
Call
hours
it
at
coup,
a
my
time.
friend. Not the other C word, but a coup.
Hey, language.
Where's Matt Center? What's up? I want some German action going on. What's
We just
the
had
German
some-
engineering?
We just had some German action.
yeah, boy.
Matt Sinner from Primal
That's what
Fear.
I'm saying. So bring it.
Primal Fear. Gravedigger.
Oh,
I like those bands.
I do too.
They're solid. I like German metal.
Scorpions.
Autumn.
yeah.
I like all that.
Klaus
Doro.
Meine.
Ah, yeah, ho, ha, ho.
It's
Doro.
Have that
Zupa.
clip somewhere, Neely.
Guile.
Do I have what?
The Doro clip.
No, I don't.
God damn, we got to get that one back.
That's something you
You
deleted
guys-
from your file when you decided you were going to leave the show abruptly.
Oh,
When I was a
ooh.
pussy and
Ooh.
fucking let a chick fucking push me off the show.
What? Oh, well, you better
I did. I'll tell that story. I've told it many
tell
times.
it. Tell it again. It's
I quit the show for trying to make my fucking marriage work. What a dumb mistake that was.
You know what's funny is I came across your email that you were informing me of your exiting immediately. Effective immediately.
Right? Effective now.
I reread it. What was it? I think a Wednesday. I reread it for the first time in 2.5 years or almost 3 years.
And laughed and laughed.
No, I just was like, holy shit, dude. You just left me high and dry like that?
wow. That's pretty brutal.
I did. That's why I always get mad when the fans fucking say that I'm great and you suck. Because it's like, holy shit, they should be fucking pissed at me for fucking abandoning ship like a bitch.
Pretty much.
I did.
But at least you own it, though. Hey, you got to
can't
give
make
credit.
a
You got to
fit
own it.
about I've owned it from day one.
There you go. Because people are going to make mistakes, right? I mean, we all do that. Neely is like
I could have just
living, walking example of that. But in any case, I mean, yeah, at least, Chris, you and I are getting along pretty well in this show, don't you think?
I could have just
hail and kill, caller. You're on the air. You're on the air, caller. Go ahead.
Okay, listen, guys. I don't know what's wrong in America with heavy metal, but I mean, I'm from Germany originally, and I got lucky that I grew up with bands like Sinner, Gravedigger, and Accept. And I mean, my very first show, no, not my very first show, but I remember in 1983, I think, or 84, Gravedigger was on tour with Running Wild, and 83, Accept with Sinner. Yeah. And I mean, I got lucky that I grew up with the best of both worlds: German metal, European metal, and US metal. In the United States, it's a little bit different because you guys never had a chance to listen to the really cool European metal. And the other thing is, I listened a little bit earlier to the Matt Sinner interview. Well, if I would be Matt Sinner and I would go on a US tour, and for example, down here where I live in Arizona, my band would play in front of 50 people, I wouldn't come.
Right.
I saw Doro here in Arizona in front of maybe 10.
10 people?
That's not
10 people. So I'm asking you, why would they come if they can play in Europe in front of a minimum of, I would say, 8 to 1,000 people?
Well, why would? Well, because you want to try and build into that market. I mean, if you do succeed in the American market, though, you're gold for life. Look at a band like the Scorpions. The band like the Scorpions were big in Europe, and they knew they needed to be bigger, so they came over here and they struck gold with it. But I mean, they were the lucky exception, to be honest. I mean, certainly, right, and certainly there's a ton of great European bands, Destruction, Sodom, Scorpions. There's tons of them. Running
Wild, Doro. I can name you at least 50 more bands, and most of them they're not even known in the States.
Well, Klink, why don't you name a few of them and tell me what bands you think would be the good ones?
Okay, for example, I remember a band called Railway.
What was that band? What's that band coming up?
Railway from back in the 80s.
Oh, Railway. Okay.
Yeah. There's Edguy, Avantasia, Blind Guardian.
Well, let's hold on there, Schultz. Let's talk about Avantasia for a minute. I mean, that band has so much. They're such a grand band. Don't you think that a band like Avantasia should be able to tour with a band like TSO and maybe make the crossover?
Probably. I mean, Edguy tried it a couple of times. I mean, Edguy came here a couple of years ago twice, once with a band from Sweden, where I don't want to name the band's name, because they called the Americans in Germany, fucking Americans. And I'm not telling you the band name because then, anyway.
Well, sure.
But yeah, maybe. But even Edguy, I saw him here in Phoenix with that band from Sweden, and I thought for myself, you know what? I have to see the whole show. So what I did is the next tour in Europe, I jumped on an airplane and flew over to Germany to see Edguy in front of 2,000 people. Here in Phoenix, they played in front of maybe 200.
Well, but what do you think is the reason, Gehring, that they can't make it over here? I mean, do you think that it's just that the American people are not as willing to accept a band like Edguy? Because let's face it, Edguy could play on a stage with a lot of American bands, but for whatever reason, they just are limited to the club scene.
Yeah, because the promoters don't put enough money in it. They don't advertise. Unfortunately, here in the United States, there is no heavy metal magazine available, like the Metal Hammer or called Hammer or Rock Hard in Europe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in Europe, you buy one magazine and you know exactly which band is on tour in which city, and you can get your ticket. Here in the States, I mean, I haven't bought a metal magazine in years.
So do you think that there can ever be another band like the Scorpions, Himmler, that's going to break out and really have that kind of a following?
Rammstein did it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And Rammstein did it without ever, they never changed their sound or their style or anything.
True, and they're excellent. I mean, I've seen them a couple of times here in the States, in Vegas, here in Phoenix, and back in Germany. And at least the show is all over the world the same.
Mm-hmm. Well, how long have you been listening to metal there, Schultz?
Oh my God, since I'm 12.
Oh wow! And how old are you now?
50.
And you're 50, so that's what, 36 years of listening to metal. So I just got to ask you, man, after 36 years of listening to metal, what comes to mind?
What do you mean?
I'm just asking. I mean, what comes to mind when you think about metal?
Well, for me, it's kind of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I know all the other bands, like starting with Tina Turner, and I know Britney Spears, but I would never buy their CDs because that's not my music. And heavy metal is one of the few music which are really, really true because 4, 5, 6 people are on stage and playing everything themselves. When I listen to other people, that rap stuff, with the I can't stand it.
Right, sure.
And my first record was Love Gun from Kiss. Okay. And the only reason why I bought it was because these people had makeup in their face and I wanted to know what kind of music it is. And I was 12.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you there, man.
And I got stuck with the music, and the other thing is I'm loyal to my music. Why should I change my music style if I love it?
No, I agree with you fully, man. And when you're looking at the metal community today and you see so many great German bands that are out there right now, which ones do you think, whether it's thrash or traditional metal or whatever, which bands do you think should have been bigger than the bands that were huge here in the United States? Like, do you think, as an example, that Sodom should have been bigger than Metallica?
That's a good question. I mean, Metallica got lucky with their Black album, and they played it in the radio up and down until you couldn't stand it anymore. Sure. I mean, if the European bands would get a little bit more radio support, I mean, radio from the FM stations or AM stations, then it would be a different story. But they don't, because the German bands don't pay them money to play the music.
Right. Definitely,
and for example, and if you ask me which band should be bigger, Victory, for example, is an excellent hard rock and heavy metal band.
Mm-hmm, sure.
I love Gravedigger. I mean, I've seen them. I have no idea. I flew back to Germany several times just to see them. Edguy should be bigger. Halloween should be bigger.
Okay, I agree with you on Halloween too. Don't you think, Goebbels, that Halloween should have been better than Iron Maiden?
When we talk about Iron Maiden back in the 80s, no. When we're talking about Iron Maiden today, yes.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. But I mean, over the entire span of their career, Kirschke, don't you think that they would have been? That they should have been the better band? Because I know for me personally, I mean, I love Iron Maiden like everybody else, but certainly if you go from start to finish, Halloween's career has certainly been much stronger from start to finish.
I agree. And not just Halloween, because they still put music out when everybody else was saying heavy metal is dead. Heavy metal was maybe dead here in the United States because they didn't play it on radio anymore. But heavy metal was in Europe. It's still kind of an underground music. As far as I know, there is no hard rock or heavy metal radio station which play 24/7 hour music. So, and they still fill the arenas. I mean, look at Wacken.
Okay.
How many people from all over the world show up for a 3-day festival?
Well, and that's very true. And I mean, you don't have anything at all like that, here in the States, Dongo. Instead, you have only, these. I mean, you have a couple of festivals, but they're these modern rock shit fests that are just promoted.
Right. The other downside for America is, I mean, because America is too big. You know, if somebody was trying to put something like Wacken here in the United States,
right?
I mean, they have to go to a metropolitan area, but people from California, from Florida, they will spend thousands of dollars just to go there.
Sure.
You know, and in Europe, I mean, Germany, you drive from the north to east in 10 hours.
Okay. Sure. But for a guy like you, I mean, obviously you grew up in Germany, Kaltenbrunner, and then you went and moved here, but you still travel backwards. Why do you travel back to the why do you travel back to Europe instead of trying to, you know, maybe go to these club shows and build these bands up, you know, being one of those that supports your, you know, the bands from your homeland?
That's
Maybe
what I do.
You kind of did that, from what I understood.
That's exactly
right?
what I do. That's the reason why I know that Doro played in front of 10 people.
Ooh.
Okay.
And half of them were their own fan club from Germany.
Right.
And that's not a joke. And you know what?
I agree.
And I feel sorry for Doro to come over here to play in front of 10 people, and she's giving 100% each single time. Mm-hmm. It's the same with Primal Fear. When they played here, I mean, come on, 50 people?
Sure,
maybe 75?
I mean, it's embarrassing.
You know, and then I look at bands like Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, Ozzy Osbourne retires. Everybody has to see one more time Ozzy Osbourne. 2 years later, you know what? Retirement sucks, I'm coming back. Everybody goes because I want to see him. And every time it's 50, 60 bucks for a ticket.
Right. Well,
and it's the same with Kiss. How often can you freaking retire?
Right. That's it. I agree. I definitely agree.
Some things
I'm not going to Ozzy Osbourne. I'm not going to Judas Priest anymore because they're supposed to retire. And if I retire and don't decide, you know what, I need more money, I come back.
Right. Well, what I don't understand, though, is why in the world would people continue to go see a band like a Judas Priest when, well, you know, Mengele, when Primal Fear is out there and doing it better?
Ask the Americans.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, why do you choose not to? Do you choose not to only because of the talent degradation, you know, between a Primal Fear and a you know, and a Judas Priest? I mean, what is your thought, Eichmann, as a German?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Priest too, and I like Iron Maiden, and I like Ozzy Osbourne, but again, how often can you see them? You know, I'd rather spend $15 for a Primal Fear show and see a band which maybe never comes back to the United States instead of spending $50 for a Priest show.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, you pay $25 for a T-shirt, you need something to drink, you need something to eat, blah 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 blah. Before you turn around, it's $100.
Sure.
If you go to the local shows, you don't even spend half.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, though, don't you do you look at a band and I don't know if for you it's a nationalist thing or if it's just solely the quality of the bands, but let's face it, a band like Scorpions, you know, they weren't just not as good in the last couple of years. So did you stop going to see them as well?
Well, I stopped going to Scorpions when they came out with that reunification song, the Wind of Change.
Right, sure.
And the last time I went to the Scorpions show here in Phoenix, it was because Armored Saint opened for them. So I was there for Armored Saint, and Scorpions, I sat down and relaxed.
Okay. Right. Well, I don't know what she's laughing about. But, you know.
I don't know.
She's a nutty chick.
So nutty.
Sure.
Wow.
Well, but I mean, and the other thing is that we are loyal.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
You know, when I go back to see my friends, most of them still have, the ones who have hair, it's still kind of long.
Sure.
And they're still going to shows. And when I flew back last year, I think, to see the whole Accept show. I mean, and most of my friends from back in the 80s or before I left for the States, they were still at that show.
Right.
You know, and it was not $50 or $60. No, it was 20.
Right, and you know what, Himmler, as a fan of metal, I'm with you completely. As far, I mean, I totally love the German stuff. Halloween is probably my favorite European band, and
yeah.
so I'm with you on that. And you know, it is, in my opinion, it is definitely good that if nothing else, there are guys like you out there that are keeping the heritage of the European metal alive. Because if not, what are we going to end up with? A bunch of bands that sound like Disturbed, right?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm definitely with you, man. Well, I got to say, dude, this has been an enlightening call, man. Thank you for calling in and straightening us out.
All I can say is, you know what, support your local bands. B, support if somebody comes from Europe over here, go to the show and enjoy, because they may never come back.
I'm with you, Heydrich. It's really important to support all metal.
Right. Well, you should support most of... Well, I wouldn't go to Sodom because that's not my style of music.
Oh, you know, sodomy is my style of living, so Sodom is okay, you know?
Okay, but I don't understand a word they're saying.
I'm with you, man. I'm just messing.
You know, but to finish the conversation, I had a chance a couple of years ago. I met some German bands at a festival. I forgot where. I think it was in Spain. So we started talking, and I asked everybody, so when you guys coming to the States?
Right.
And one of the band members said, no, we're not coming. I said, why not? We're not interested in playing in front of 50 people.
Well, and why would they come, Commandant? Because, I mean, ultimately, you've got to have support, or else it's not worth doing.
True.
You know, I mean, that's really what it all boils down to. When you can go and play Ukastania or whatever little country out there in Europe, or you can come to the United States and lose your ass, why would you?
Exactly, and when they come, I mean, that's not cheap, you know, and they're most of the time they're losing money.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, outside of just the flights, there's so much expense. And let's face it, you know, even the basic things, like, you know, as an example, these American clubs, they don't have the same type of showers as the Europeans do, and especially the Germans, right?
Well, that depends on where you go.
Right.
There are some very nice clubs over there who have excellent food and excellent showers and excellent dressing rooms.
Okay.
And there are other clubs, they don't have that.
The rest of them might make you think of a 40s Nazi concentration camp, right?
Yeah, something like that.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Sometimes they stay in some kind of, you know, dollar hotels, blah, 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 but...
Well, I hear you, Click. It's all good, man. Well, definitely thanks for bringing us up to speed, man.
Oh, well, if you want more information, give me a call.
I absolutely will, man. Neely, you got his phone number?
Yeah, man, I sure do.
Oh, God.
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right, man. So let me finish my Formula 1 race. There's something else for you again.
All right, man. Get back to it, man.
Yeah, it's qualifying right now, and tonight at 4 o'clock is the race.
Are you a Porsche supporter, I'm assuming?
I'm a what?
A Porsche supporter?
No, Porsche is not into Formula 1. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought maybe they made the engines or something.
Mercedes.
No.
Volkswagen?
But I have four German drivers, and Mercedes is there.
Mercedes.
And I'm happy when one of my bikes finishes first.
That's awesome, man. Well, I hope they do. I hope they win there, Klink. It's all good.
Yeah, we have a world champion right now.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool. Sounds good, man.
Okay, take care. Have a good night.
All right, you too, bro.
Bye.
All right, bye.
For once,
everybody take a breath.
Nothing to say. Good night. Wow.
Oh, shit.
There's not enough words. This just doesn't exist in the human being. I'm going to sit right.
You know how hard it was for me to keep asking serious questions?
But you got to know. I mean, I have to recover from that. Thank you. Well, damn.
Holy
Don't
shit.
hold back now.
I literally pulled up an article called The Top 15 Most Evil Nazis. And I just started throwing names.
Don't.
I think we all need a break, Chris.
No. Chris.
What?
Step back.
All right.
We all need to recover
Ooh,
from
boy.
the German onslaught.
That was freaking good.